Hey there, Cutie and Cosplay here with another video. So before I begin, today's video might get a touch controversial, maybe upset some people. I am definitely not the type to express strong opinions or argue with people, so this is going to be a little difficult for me. I expect some hate in the comments. If you hear my opinions and you do think I'm a weenie, then so be it.
You weenie? A weenie? You are the weenie!
So today's video is going to be about why I'm no longer a Marvel fan. I'm just a little disappointed with how it currently is, and just general disrespect for the characters and their origins in general. So let's get into it. I hope too that maybe it softens it a little bit, that I wanted to show some love for one of my favorite MCU characters. I've got Iron Man inspired makeup. I've got his jacket that I got back in like middle school. Got it from Hot Topic. I would wear it to school all the time and feel so cool. So please know that I do love Marvel. I'm just a little disappointed with how it currently is. So yeah. So I'm going to be looking at my notes again. If you've watched my past videos, this will be very familiar to you. So to start off, my experience with the Marvel movies. My dad would take me and my siblings to like every Marvel movie. We'd go to a lot of movies, but the Marvel movies, we always made that special. We'd go out and have a lot of fun. So obviously we went to see Iron Man, and I was just kind of mesmerized. I was like, loved Tony Stark, loved the movie. After the movie came out on DVD, Blu-ray, we had this family cabin that we'd go to, and we got to pick which movies we'd put in the DVD player, Blu-ray player, whatever, and I'd be like, Iron Man, Iron Man, Iron Man, and we'd just watch that one over and over. I loved it. I was so excited. So I loved it so much. I would watch it so much, and that was kind of like my start with these movies, which everybody started with Iron Man. I'm just feeling like everything after Endgame has been a disappointment, except for the Spider-Man movies, which I'll get into in a bit. So overall, I haven't really enjoyed anything that... I haven't 100% loved anything that Marvel has created after Endgame, Infinity War, and even the stuff that I thought was good had some huge flaws. Like, I enjoyed WandaVision, but there was way too much focus on these other characters that I really didn't care about. Like everything with Wanda and Vision was so exciting and fun and interesting, and every time you kind of went outside that town and followed somebody else, it was a little bit of a snooze. So, in addition, I also saw Falcon and Winter Soldier, and everything with Zemo was incredible. I thought he was such a cool character, and then you kind of go to the main villain, and it's kind of this unlikable character that they just created. Like, it's not actually a villain from the comics. Yeah, just a little disappointed with those. They could have been top tier, but they kind of dropped a little bit with those big flaws. So overall, I think it's important to say that the people I look up to and the people I enjoy most in my fictional stuff is usually male leads. It is very rare that I look up to a female lead, and I'm not really into this push that Marvel is doing right now of just pushing all these female leads onto us and like replacing male characters in favor of female, and I'm just not really into it. I'm very picky about the female characters that I admire. In fact, the only one that I could come up with for this video that is similar to Marvel female leads would be Jolene from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 6. I think she's so cool. She fits this like badass cool woman thing that Marvel is trying to do. She's in that category. And I just think they did her so well. Like Araki just made Jolene an amazing character. She's badass and awesome, but at the same time she's not afraid to be feminine, and like you even see some like cute sides to her. Like she is top tier badass woman. Like that is a character I look up to. But yeah, for the most part, any character that I adored, loved, looked up to, mostly men. So yeah, not crazy about the push for female leads. So I think that Phase 4 has just been riddled with poor storylines, weak characters, and too many race and gender swaps that in my eyes just kind of make them different characters. Like these are established characters with specific physical traits and specific personalities, and as controversial as it might end up being, changing their race or their gender would change who they are, and it's just, that's not the character that, like, seeing them different like that is not the character who you grew up with. It's not the same. Like, for example, it would be such an insult if they changed Miles Morales, or they swapped Blade, or they changed Black Panther. Like, it's just not true to who they are. That's not respectful to the fans or the original content that this character came from. Yeah, that's how I feel about that. So I actually did watch the Black Widow movie, and I was a little disappointed to find out that a cool character like Taskmaster was replaced by someone else. And that's just the MCU Taskmaster now. Like, it's never going to change. I'll never get to see this awesome character that's true to who they are. I'll never see that in movie form. They just replaced it with someone completely different, to the point that you should probably just use a different name. You don't have to call them Taskmaster. I skipped Eternals and I skipped Shang-Chi because I wasn't interested in those characters. I don't know them that well. So I didn't watch those ones. I can't really comment on how they were, but you know, we all hear things. Okay, so this is where it's going to get into prime example. Just beautiful movie, just perfection, amazing. So Spider-Man No Way Home is the only movie in this phase that I really loved. It stayed true to the character of Spider-Man, it paid respect to the characters and their source material, and I think this one did something amazing that I've never experienced with another movie. It felt like payoff from watching some kind of mediocre movies, which would be Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2. When I saw those movies, they weren't that great, and now I don't regret watching them because those movies, they just added so much more to this movie, and I don't want to spoil too much. So if you are watching this and you still haven't seen Spider-Man No Way Home, just maybe click ahead a little bit, skip ahead, just don't get spoiled because it's really good. Yeah, so Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, I personally think they're a little bit of mediocre movies, but watching them and then watching this movie added so much to that experience. Like, I don't know if this is going to spoil for anyone. The movie's been out for a little while, but if you still haven't seen it and you're looking to avoid spoilers, yeah, just skip ahead right now. So that part where Andrew Garfield is able to save MJ, and he's thinking about Gwen Stacy, and it's like he had that opportunity to redo it, and that was just such a beautiful scene. Like, I'm going to mention it later down the line, but this movie gave me a lot of tears at a lot of different parts, and that was so beautiful. And I just love what they did with Andrew Garfield's character. Like, he was kind of meh when you watch Amazing Spider-Man 1 and 2, but here it was like, it was so nice to see his Spider-Man, like, get another chance. And I don't know, I kind of just love all the Spider-Men now. I thought that was great. And as I mentioned before, this movie probably probably gave me the most emotions, made me tear up the most out of all the Marvel movies. Like, spoilers, that scene where Peter decides to let his friends just live their lives and he becomes the lonely Peter that I've known from the comics. That shocked the hell out of me. I was like, they actually did this? I thought it would be a happy ending, like start over with his friends and his girlfriend, and I was just kind of blown away that they did that. And it was so, like, it was like the comic book came to life. I don't know, that was just incredible. So that was a really strong scene for me. And I think I've been talking about Spider-Man No Way Home a lot. I really liked it, but just to touch on this for a second, most of the villains were just great. Good movie, loved this movie. So the next movie that I'm going to be talking about is Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. To be honest, this movie made me question how much I actually liked his character. I don't have a lot of history with Doctor Strange in the comics and things like that, but when I saw him in his first movie, I kind of loved his character, thought he was really neat looking, and then in Endgame and Infinity War, I really liked him. I was like, maybe this is like one of my favorite. I really liked his design, I think it's awesome. And then in this movie, it's like he's the secondary character in his own movie. Like, if they really wanted to make a movie for American Chavez, then she really should have had her own movie, because I wanted to watch a Doctor Strange movie, and this was very much American Chavez featuring Doctor Strange. So yeah, I wasn't in love with this movie. Just kind of a bit of a disappointment for me. Kind of shook how I felt about a character, which is not a good feeling when you thought that they established so many cool things already. Yeah, let down. Okay, so this next movie maybe upsets me the most out of the Phase 4 movies. That would be Thor: Love and Thunder. So, I really liked Ragnarok, and I appreciated the humor. I thought it was like a cool blend of funny and badass and serious, and I thought they did that well. It was kind of a little bit perfect. It was just a good blend. I liked it. And then, you know, let's look back at the character of Thor. He's just, in the comics, he's a lot more serious, and I think that where Ragnarok took it was probably like as far as it should have gone, like, you know, in terms of his humor, like how goofy he is, things like that. And yeah, Thor was not like that in this movie at all. In fact, it kind of felt like they were trying to channel Deadpool a bit. It just fell really flat for me. I honestly kind of saw Thor as a loser in this movie, like just another character that kind of, I was seeing all these cool things in him, and then just fell flat for me, and kind of started to dislike the character. And then, any scene where they tried to do something emotional, it just fell completely flat for me. There were no emotions on my end, because they're just throwing screaming goats at you every 30 seconds. How are you supposed to feel anything for someone being sick or someone dying? Or, whew, I did not feel much, except annoyed? That's probably the emotion I felt the most. And I'm gonna be honest, I think I could probably count on one hand the amount of movies I've wanted to stand up and walk out on, but this one definitely sits in that list. Like, that scene with all the kids at the end was almost insulting. That was just, there's all these adults and all these parents waiting back there for them, and they're more useless than a bunch of children. I don't know, I've got a lot of thoughts on that one, but I'm not going to touch on that too much. Just a painful scene to watch. as far as it goes for the other movies coming out, I'm not interested in Black Panther 2. I'm not interested in a lot of the characters, or I just don't recognize them. And also, I'm a little disappointed that they didn't choose to recast Black Panther and, in my opinion, pay some respect to Chadwick's memory by keeping his character alive. I don't know much about what he'd want, but I just feel like he'd still want Black Panther to be out there. Overall, I'm just so sad and disappointed that the MCU started out so exciting and just kind of new and amazing. And like, in my opinion, when it was starting out, even when they missed one, they didn't miss that bad. Like, it was still a decent movie. And yeah, now I think they're just to the point where it offends you or kind of gets you upset. So yeah, I think they had such a cool thing going on where so many of these movies were connected to each other. I was just mind blown at when they really started diving into this movie and that movie, and this movie all connects to this one scene, and that was just really cool. Felt really amazing to me, and it kind of feels like that's gone now. Yeah, it just again very sad that I've lost this special movie experience where I'd dress up and I'd go out to the movies with my friends or family, and it was just something you'd look forward to, and now that's just kind of gone. I'm just disappointed. I'm like, ugh, what are they coming out with now? I'm not gonna watch it. Yeah, just sad that something so cool, I feel like, has fallen so far and so hard. Yeah, that's what I have to say about this. And I didn't touch on these too much, but in addition to the movies, after Falcon and Winter Soldier, and what I've heard about Loki and a lot of their other shows, I'm no longer interested in the TV shows either. I canceled my Disney Plus subscription. I'm not coming back. Yeah, I'm not interested in those, especially about what I heard that they did with Daredevil and the She-Hulk series. I 100% know that if I watched that, that would just be another example of a character like Thor and Doctor Strange, where I thought they were really cool and awesome, and they kind of just took that and stomped on it. So yeah, not gonna check those out. So if you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching my video. I know that this isn't an easy topic, especially when it comes to fans and opinions. I've been thinking this for a while, kind of wanted to get it off my chest. So, if you listened and you agree with me, if you don't agree with me, either one's okay. Leave a comment, I read them all, no matter what you have to say. I appreciate all the comments, and yeah, if you've listened to this and you hate what I have to say and you still think I'm a weenie, then that's fair.
He's such a weenie. I am not a weenie! You are the weenie!
Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.